Good evening, my friends, and welcome to Drinks with Dick and Jan. So this is going to be our first inaugural one, and I am going to make for you guys today my favorite cocktail of all time. And anybody want to guess what that is? Well, time's up, and I'm going to tell you anyway. It's probably majority of people's favorite cocktail when they start drinking, and that's going to be a simple old-fashioned. We're not talking anything fancy, not all these tutti frutti things that the restaurants seem to, conjure up where they want to spice it up. It's just going to be simple ingredients. Your whiskey of your choice, which I'm going to start off with rye tonight, simple sugar, and bitters, of course, with a rock of ice. We're going to go ahead and make it in a mixing glass right here. So what we'll need for it, obviously a mixing glass, bar spoon, your whiskey. Let's see, bitters. You can use your choice of bitters, but usually an aromatic bitters like Angostura works best with that. And then of course some simple syrup. You have your choice of, in my case, I could either use a regular simple syrup, which is made with basically a 2-to-1 ratio or a 1-to-1 ratio of white sugar to water, where you heat it up, make sure it all, melts down into the water. Or you can do like what I prefer is a rich demerara sugar, or rich demerara syrup, which uses a demerara sugar, basically like your sugar in the raw, and you do it a 2-to-1 in the the pan. So 2 cups or 2 parts sugar to 1 part of water. Heat it up until it all becomes nice and liquid. And the nice thing about it is when you do it that way, because of the high sugar content in it, it becomes shelf stable. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. The one thing I do have here is ice that I'm going to go ahead and add to my mixing glass. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and crack one in there. Try to get it without breaking up things all over the counter. And then I'm going to add just another whole one on top of that. With that, I'm going to add 2 ounces of your choice of whiskey. Today I'm going to be using Yellow Rose rye. It's a 45% 90 proof. I'm going to be adding 2 ounces of that. Then to that, I'm going to be adding between 1/4 and 1/2 ounce of the demerara syrup. It just depends on your taste. I like mine a little bit more spirit forward, so I like to try to go eyeball it maybe 1/3 ounce. I think for all of you Europeans or Australians or anybody that uses the metric system other than us, which is everybody, I think 15 mils at most. Probably 12 mils would be the ideal. And then after that, it's however many dashes of bitters you like. I particularly like more. Usually most recipes call for 2. I like 4. So I like mine just a little bit more on the aromatic side with a little more spirit forward. Something to keep in mind is your Angostura bitters are actually pretty high proof anyway, which is one of the reasons why they're shelf stable. It's 44.7% alcohol, which means it's 99.6% or 99.6 proof. So now the key to making the, at least the way I like it, to making your old fashioned is to stir in the mixing glass. You just want to keep stirring and keep stirring and keep stirring until it reaches the proper dilution. Depending on what whiskey you use, whether it's rye or bourbon or Scotch or Tennessee whiskey, it really doesn't matter what you use. But what does make a big difference in it is the proof that you put in. Like I said, the one that I put in here is a straight 90 proof. I have made them with stuff that's up towards 126 plus proof. Typically on those, you either want to, unless you like drinking something very, very potent, you either want to either dilute it more or add a little more sugar. So now that I've got that all mixed up, I did put one nice rock in my glass, and then I'm just going to strain that into the glass using julep strainer over the top of it. And now I also like I like to do the customary garnish on an old fashioned, which is just a little bit of orange peel that's expressed over the top of it. Easiest way I found to do is just get yourself a nice vegetable peeler. It gives you plenty of orange peel without all the pith. So then express it out. If you want to get fancy when you're doing this, you can take a lighter or a match and spritz it over the top, you know, make a little show of it. I like wiping around the glass and then just kind of tossing it in. Some people like getting it a little more fancy with the you know, picks and stuff like that. But for me, this is it. This is my quintessential favorite drink of all time. And with that, guys, cheers. And I hope everybody has a great time, and we'll see you on the next one.